think just the biggest thing is, it's really, really special, and I don't think it's going to set in for me for quite some time. I want my legacy to be the impact that I can have on young kids and the people in the state of Iowa. And I hope I brought them a lot of joy this season.
Caitlyn Clark is no longer with the WNBA. The announcement came just minutes ago without a press conference, injury report, or formal explanation from the league or her team. The timing follows several days of reduced playing time and removal from promotional materials, despite Clark leading her team in points, assists, and fan engagement. Within hours of the news breaking, fellow players Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull made public statements sharply critical of the league's handling of the situation, drawing attention to what they describe as deeper issues of control and player treatment. Clark's absence from the starting lineup was first noticed earlier this week. She was present at the arena but did not participate in warm-ups. No injury designation was provided, and no official comment was made. Initially, some analysts suggested the decision was for load management. Others speculated about disciplinary action. In the days leading up to her removal, Clark's minutes had been noticeably reduced. This was unusual given her performance. She was the team's statistical leader in scoring and assists, and her presence consistently drove higher attendance and television ratings. There were no reports of missed practices or conflicts with teammates that would explain the change. By the third day, Clark was benched entirely. Her name was absent from game day promotional materials and league social media accounts. The lack of transparency from officials drew immediate attention from reporters and fans. Shortly after Clark's benching, information began circulating from individuals described as being close to the league. These accounts suggested that the decision was not performance-related. Instead, they pointed to disagreements between Clark and WNBA leadership. Multiple sources claimed Clark had raised concerns about certain league marketing strategies, describing them as disconnected from the interests of fans. These discussions reportedly took place in closed-door meetings. According to these accounts, her pushback was not well received. The reported timeline was consistent across several sources. Within 2 days of those meetings, her playing time was cut. Within 3 days, she was benched. In the days that followed, her visibility in official league media was reduced. While none of these claims were confirmed publicly by the league, the pattern of events fueled speculation. The absence of an official explanation reinforced the perception that her removal was not related to on-court performance. News of Clark's absence spread quickly on social media. Hashtags such as #Where'sCaitlyn and #FreeClark began trending within hours. Posts ranged from fans asking for clarification to direct accusations that the league was attempting to sideline one of its most popular players. NBA players and other professional athletes also commented publicly, calling the move unusual and hard to justify given Clark's recent performances. Sports media outlets began dedicating segments to the situation, often noting the lack of official information.
Back Benley. Here's Clark, a good look from three. She got it! The first.
Caitlyn Clark does not need much space here.
Fans compiled video clips and statistics to support their arguments that the decision was not based on basketball performance. These included footage of uncalled fouls against Clark, comparisons of her reduced minutes to those of other players, and screenshots showing a decrease in WNBA social media coverage of her in recent days. The growing online activity created pressure for a league response, but for nearly 2 days there was no statement from the WNBA or Clark's team. Sophie Cunningham addressed the situation directly during a post-game interview. Instead of using standard player responses, she stated, "You don't sideline your biggest star unless you're concerned about her influence." The remark was widely shared across sports media and social platforms within hours. Following the interview, Cunningham expanded on her position during her podcast and in subsequent media appearances. She described Clark's benching as retaliation, suggesting it was linked to non-basketball factors. Cunningham criticized the league for prioritizing control over progress and for discouraging players from speaking openly. Her comments drew significant public support, with hashtags such as #StandWithSophie appearing alongside those supporting Clark. Other players refrained from public statements, but some signaled agreement by liking or reposting Cunningham's comments on social media. The day after Cunningham's remarks, Lexie Hull addressed the media following a team practice. She delivered a short statement. "If Caitlyn Clark can be treated like this, what do you think they'll do to the rest of us?" She did not elaborate further or take questions. The statement was recorded and widely circulated online. It was shared not only by WNBA fans, but also by analysts, journalists, and players in other sports. Many interpreted it as a warning about broader issues within the league's treatment of players. Hull followed the appearance by posting a black and white photo of herself with Clark, captioned with a single word: loyalty. The post generated speculation about whether it was directed toward league officials, team management, or others involved. Reports later surfaced that Hull had questioned coaching staff about the decision to bench Clark, especially given her role in attracting sellout crowds. Sources also indicated that Hull was in contact with players from other teams discussing similar concerns about league culture and decision-making. After Cunningham's and Hull's statements, fan activity intensified. Supporters began organizing coordinated social media pushes using hashtags like #JusticeForClark, #FreeCaitlyn, and #StopSilencingStars. On Reddit, TikTok, and Twitter, users compiled timelines of events, screenshots of reduced league coverage, and game footage they argued demonstrated inconsistent officiating. Some fans compared Clark's treatment to that of other high-profile players in similar situations, noting differences in disciplinary actions and media exposure.
It's the first time Kennedy Burke has missed a three in the last 3 games. She had made 7 in a row over her last 2. Nicely done to get it inside to Mitchell. Those two have such a great connection, especially when Kelsey Mitchell is in a corner and can make that baseline cut. Burke gets in, and now a chance.
Sports forums saw an influx of new posts calling for transparency from the WNBA. Several fan-led accounts created petitions requesting a formal league explanation, which quickly gathered thousands of signatures. Independent basketball podcasts and YouTube channels began producing investigative segments, further amplifying the controversy beyond traditional sports coverage. The collective pressure made it increasingly difficult for the league to avoid addressing the issue publicly. After nearly 2 full days without comment, the WNBA released a short written statement across its official channels. The statement did not mention Clark by name. It described recent roster adjustments as strategic rotational decisions and asked fans to trust the process. The wording was criticized by reporters and fans for failing to address the central questions: why Clark's minutes had been reduced despite her performance, and whether non-basketball factors influenced the decision. The lack of direct acknowledgement was viewed by many as an attempt to minimize the issue. Reaction from players followed quickly. Sophie Cunningham reposted the statement on Twitter with a single eye roll emoji, which received thousands of likes within minutes. Lexie Hull shared a clip of the statement being read aloud during a broadcast, adding the caption, "So we're pretending this is normal now?" Public response to the league's message was overwhelmingly negative. Media commentators described it as deflective and insufficient, while fan activity on social platforms continued to grow. Some sponsors reportedly contacted the league privately requesting further clarification. Reports from multiple teams indicated that the controversy was beginning to affect locker room dynamics. Players who had previously interacted freely were now holding private conversations in smaller groups. Sources described a visible split between those who preferred to remain silent on league matters and those who supported speaking out. According to individuals familiar with team discussions, younger players were the most vocal in questioning the decision to sideline Clark. Some veterans reportedly advised caution, citing potential career repercussions. Off the court, conversations were taking place among players from different franchises. Several sources claimed that informal talks had begun about forming a coalition to address what they saw as long-standing issues with player treatment, marketing decisions, and the suppression of public criticism. While no formal action had been announced, these private discussions signaled a growing willingness among players to coordinate responses rather than act individually.
On Natasha Howard as she was trying to deny the pass, and there we have Sophie Cunningham and Caitlyn Clark that might be acting as assistant coaches tonight.
Yeah, their voices.
Several days after Clark's resignation, Cunningham and Hull appeared together in a live television interview. Both spoke directly to the situation, avoiding generalities. Cunningham stated, "If this is how you treat the player who built your league, no one's safe." The comment was made without hesitation and was followed by a noticeable pause in the studio. Hull added, "We've been told to stay quiet for too long, not anymore." The exchange was widely shared online within minutes. It was reposted by NBA players, former WNBA athletes, and journalists across multiple sports outlets. Many described it as one of the most direct public challenges to league leadership in recent memory. The appearance shifted the discussion from Clark's individual case to broader issues of player rights and the league's approach to internal criticism. The interview became a focal point for ongoing online movements and further motivated calls for structural change within the WNBA. Caitlyn Clark's removal from the WNBA began with reduced minutes, progressed to a full benching, and ended with her resignation. No formal explanation has been provided by the league or her team. Statements from Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull have shifted the conversation from one player's situation to broader questions about how the league handles dissent and manages its public image. At present, the confirmed facts are limited. Clark is no longer on the roster. The WNBA has cited rotational decisions without further detail. Cunningham and Hull have publicly challenged the league's approach, and their comments have received significant attention. Reports of internal player discussions and possible coalition building remain unverified, though multiple independent sources have described such activity. The immediate outcome is unresolved. There has been no announcement regarding Clark's next career move or whether the league will revisit its decision. Sponsorship interests have reportedly requested clarification, but no changes have been confirmed. Player-led action has not been announced. The situation remains open. Until there is a clear statement from the league, Clark, or both, the reasons for her removal and resignation will remain a matter of public debate.